Adidas may have just done something Nike never expected. They reportedly offered Alex Eala double what Nike is currently paying her. Not 10% more. Not 20%. Double. And the timing could not be more explosive. Because this happened after Alex stopped looking like a promising young tennis player and started looking like a global sports phenomenon. Toronto changed everything. Wimbledon changed everything. Washington changed everything. And now, before Alex even walks onto the US Open court, two of the biggest sportswear brands on earth could be fighting over her future. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. The biggest obstacle for Adidas may not be Nike's money. It may be Nike's history with Alex. Because Nike was there before the crowds. Before the headlines. Before the bidding war. Before Alex became the player everybody suddenly wanted. And now Adidas is reportedly saying, we'll pay twice as much. So the question isn't simply whether Alex can command millions. She already can. The question is whether Nike is willing to spend millions more to keep her. And if Nike refuses? Adidas could be preparing to steal one of the most valuable young athletes in tennis right from under its nose. This is no longer a sponsorship deal. This is a commercial war. And Alex Eala is standing directly in the middle of it. Just months ago, Alex was still fighting for recognition among the world's best. Now, according to industry estimates cited by Tennis 365, she could potentially target around $10 million a year in sponsorship deals. Let that number breathe for a second. A 21-year-old Filipina athlete. Millions of fans behind her. A rapidly expanding international audience. And suddenly, a commercial valuation that puts her in conversations with the biggest names in women's tennis. Coco Gauff is estimated to earn around $23 million annually off the court. Emma Raducanu's post-US Open commercial explosion became one of the most famous examples of a young tennis player turning sporting success into global brand power. And now Alex is entering that same territory. But there is something different about her story. Alex doesn't just bring tennis fans. She brings a country. And increasingly, she brings a global Filipino audience with her. That audience has already shown what happens when Alex walks into a tournament. Crowds swell. Tickets disappear. Attention explodes. And brands notice. Because to a sportswear company, that isn't just fandom. That's commercial leverage. And Alex's value has been climbing with every major chapter of her season. Wimbledon. Washington. Toronto. Each one added another layer to the story. And each one made it harder for Nike's competitors to ignore her. Then came the reported Adidas offer. And suddenly, Nike had a problem. A very expensive problem. Think about what Adidas is actually doing here. If the reported double offer is accurate, Adidas isn't simply saying Alex is valuable. It is saying, we believe Nike is underpaying her. That is an enormous statement. Because Adidas knows Nike already has a relationship with Alex. Nike has her. Nike has history. Nike has the emotional connection. Nike has the symbolism. And yet Adidas is apparently willing to put a huge number on the table anyway. Why? Because Adidas may believe the window is closing. The longer Alex keeps winning, the more expensive she becomes. The deeper she goes at the US Open, the more expensive she becomes. The more global attention she attracts, the more expensive she becomes. And if she produces another major breakthrough, that number could explode. So Adidas may not be paying for today's Alex. It may be trying to lock up tomorrow's Alex before everyone else realizes what she's worth. That's the gamble. And that's what makes the timing so fascinating. But then comes the first major twist. Alex's relationship with Nike isn't ordinary. Nike has been connected to Alex since 2019. The company didn't wait until she became a star. It was there during the climb. And when Alex reached Wimbledon, Nike didn't treat her like just another athlete wearing another kit. They built the story around her identity. During her Wimbledon journey, Nike gave Alex a custom Sampaguita-inspired hair tie. The Sampaguita is the national flower of the Philippines. For Alex, it wasn't just a flower. It represented home. Her roots. Her journey. Everything she had carried with her onto the biggest stage in tennis. Nike also included a Filipino proverb built around a simple idea: what you plant, you eventually reap. And that message hit differently because Alex had spent years planting, training, losing, improving, traveling, waiting for her breakthrough. Then finally, the world started seeing the result. Nike had attached itself to that story. And that matters. Because when fans see Alex wearing Nike, they're not necessarily seeing a logo. They're seeing a relationship that existed before the spotlight became blinding. But Adidas has something Nike cannot ignore: money. And a lot of it. Now look at Alex's commercial portfolio. Nike, Babolat, Globe Telecom Bank of the Philippine Islands, Milo Philippines, Locally Juice, Marriott Bonvoy. That's not the portfolio of an athlete waiting to become famous. That's the portfolio of an athlete brands are racing to associate themselves with. And Marriott's involvement is particularly revealing. The company described Alex as one of the exciting names emerging on the professional tennis stage, highlighting her breakthrough performances, growing international fan base, and connection to Southeast Asia. That's the language companies use when they aren't simply buying advertising space. They are buying into momentum. They are buying into a story before the story reaches its peak. And that is exactly what Adidas could be trying to do. Because imagine the nightmare scenario for Nike. Alex reaches the second week of the US Open. The Filipino audience explodes. Her international following gets even bigger. Her social media numbers surge. Every highlight becomes another viral clip. And then Adidas walks into the conversation with an even bigger number. Suddenly, the double offer doesn't look outrageous. It looks cheap. That's the danger. And here's another twist. Nike is already preparing Alex's US Open look. The brand has released her 2026 US Open dress, a royal blue Nike Court Slam design featuring basketball-inspired detailing. It is supposed to be a statement piece. A dress designed for one of the biggest stages in tennis. But now that outfit carries another question. Will Nike still be dressing Alex in the future? That changes the way you look at everything. Every photo, every campaign, every tournament, every Nike appearance. Because if Adidas really wants her, the US Open isn't simply another tournament. It could become the stage where Nike realizes exactly what it is fighting to keep. And then there's the number that keeps coming back. $10 million. Industry estimates cited by Tennis 365 suggest Alex could now target roughly that amount annually in sponsorship deals. Compare that with where she started. Forbes Asia previously estimated her prize money at around $876,000, while her endorsements were already estimated to have surpassed $1 million and were projected to rise toward roughly $3 million. That was before this latest explosion. Before the full commercial impact of her breakthrough performances had time to settle. So think about the acceleration. Millions. Then potentially several million more. Now a reported Adidas offer worth double her Nike deal. And suddenly Alex's commercial career is moving almost as fast as her tennis career. That's why the tennis world is paying attention. But here's where the story becomes personal again. Because if you're Alex, how do you put a price on the company that helped you before everyone else believed? Nike wasn't simply waiting at the finish line. It was there during the race. They put Alex in their world. They placed her image alongside legends. They connected her with the Rafa Nadal Academy environment. They gave her culturally meaningful pieces that made her identity part of the partnership. Nike Philippines even transformed the Sampaguita concept into a limited edition shirt inspired by Alex's Wimbledon journey, working with Filipino artist Georgina Canu. That is powerful branding. Because Nike wasn't saying, here's another tennis player. It was saying, here's Alex Eala. Here's where she comes from. Here's what she represents. And that is something Adidas cannot simply duplicate with a bigger check. Unless Adidas can create something even more powerful. So now the decision becomes brutal. Stay with the brand that helped build the story? Or take the offer that could potentially change the financial scale of the story? Loyalty versus leverage. History versus opportunity. Comfort versus risk. And there is no easy answer. Because athletes don't get unlimited chances to maximize their commercial value. Alex is 21. This is one of the most important moments of her career. If Adidas truly believes she could become one of the biggest stars in women's tennis, then paying a premium now could be a smart long-term investment. But if Nike believes Alex's connection with the brand is worth protecting, it has a choice too. Match the offer, beat the offer, or risk losing her. And that last option could be catastrophic. Because here's what makes Alex different. Her commercial appeal isn't based entirely on rankings. It's based on emotion. Filipino fans don't simply want Alex to win. They feel like they're traveling with her. Every breakthrough becomes a national moment. Every major victory becomes a shared celebration. And that emotional connection is exactly what brands dream about. You can't manufacture it. You can't simply purchase it. You have to earn it. Alex has earned it through years of work. And now companies are trying to put a price on something that took years to build. That's why the reported Adidas offer matters. It isn't just a number. It is a signal. A signal that Alex has crossed a line. She is no longer being evaluated as a prospect. She's being evaluated as an asset. A global one. And now the US Open becomes the next battlefield. Imagine Alex walking onto the court in that royal blue Nike dress. Millions watching. Filipino fans filling the stands. The cameras everywhere. And behind the scenes, two sportswear giants potentially calculating the value of every point. Every win adds value. Every upset adds value. Every interview adds value. Every viral moment adds value. And if Alex goes deep, the bidding could become even more aggressive. That is the terrifying part for Nike. The offer may already be huge, but it could be the lowest number Adidas is willing to pay. There's also the Emma Raducanu comparison. After her stunning 2021 US Open victory, Raducanu's commercial appeal exploded across multiple markets. Her reported Uniqlo deal alone was around $3.5 million annually. Alex is now being discussed in a completely different commercial environment. She hasn't won a Grand Slam yet. And that is precisely why the upside is so enormous. Imagine what happens if she does. A Grand Slam title wouldn't just change her ranking. It could completely reset her sponsorship market. Suddenly, that $10 million estimate might look conservative. And every brand knows it. Which means the companies trying to sign Alex now may be trying to get ahead of the explosion. Not react to it afterward. And that's why this story ends where it began. With Adidas. Because if the reported offer is real, Adidas has thrown down a challenge. Nike has history. Adidas has money. Alex has leverage. And the US Open is sitting right in the middle of all three. Nobody knows exactly what Alex will choose. And until an official agreement is announced, the reported figures should be treated as exactly that, reports and industry estimates, not confirmed contract terms. But the larger message is already impossible to miss. Alex Eala has become expensive. Very expensive. The same player who once had to fight for recognition is now reportedly being pursued by one of the world's biggest sportswear companies with an offer potentially worth twice her existing deal. That is not a small career development. That is a transformation. And Nike has a decision to make. Because if Adidas really believes Alex is the next global tennis superstar, Nike cannot afford to treat her like just another athlete on the roster. They have to decide whether the relationship they built before the fame is worth fighting for after the fame. And Alex? She gets to decide what comes next. She can stay with the company that helped tell her story. Or she can take the biggest offer and write the next chapter somewhere else. Either way, the balance of power has changed. Because Nike used to have Alex. Now Adidas wants her. And suddenly, the most important question isn't whether Alex Eala belongs among tennis's biggest stars. It's how much the biggest brands are willing to pay to keep her there. The Sampaguita made her story recognizable. The victories made it global. And now the money is making it impossible to ignore. The US Open is coming. The cameras will be watching the court. But behind the scenes, another match may already be underway. Nike versus Adidas. History versus money. And at the center of it all, Alex Eala. If you were Alex, would you stay with Nike because of the relationship they built together? Or would you take the reported Adidas offer and bet on the future? Because this time, Alex isn't fighting for a contract. The brands are fighting for Alex.